Hello and welcome back. As you can see, I'm outside once again. Another beautiful day out here. The sun is shining. We had a thunderstorm last night. Didn't even hear it. This video is going to be about my spiritual awakening. I want to share this for anyone who might be going through this themselves right now. And if you're just interested in hearing stories like this as well, I know I personally am. I find them very interesting. So let me get into it here. It happened on September the 18th, 2016. I'll never forget the day. It had such an impact in my life. In many ways, it was the day I was born. It was around 9:30 approximately, and I was watching a video online. I was searching for videos on empaths. I didn't know what this was, and a friend of mine had mentioned, we were talking about spiritual stuff, and I was a little spiritual before that. I had been trying to meditate, but had not really had any major breakthroughs. Anyways, so the minute I turned on a video from Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, the funniest thing happened. And I'm not saying it's him that did it, but give me 1 second there. My girlfriend is messaging me. Okay, so the minute I turned on his video, and I'm sorry if I'm stuck for words, because the experience is indescribable. It's nothing that anybody talks about. It's nothing. It's just very. Okay, let me do my best to put this into words. It felt on the inside as though the me that was there before in an instant died, and at the exact same moment a new inner me woke up. I instantly had these new abilities that I didn't know were available to humans. Everything around me kind of was glowing. As far as the lights, everything that I could see had an extra, more color to it than usual. I could sense people's intentions, and visually their intentions would show on the person around them as a kind of smoke-filled aura. If somebody was angry, for example, this smoke-like aura would transform into kind of a devilish, and if they were really happy, it would be just light. It would just be. The experience overall lasted about 2 weeks in full intensity. Things like watching movies, playing video games, anything that I had previously enjoyed, like entertainment, anything that had to do with anything that wasn't towards the goal of becoming better, I guess, was just, nothing was of that sense, nothing was important anymore. It's as though I could see, and I still have that, I can't see the point of watching a movie just for entertainment. It still blows me away that this happened in my experience. I went to work the next morning, and as soon as I walked in, I worked at a restaurant at that time, the smell of meat was repulsing. It was disgusting. I could feel energy flowing inside, outside. I could move it. It's as though I had been given a new sense. This was almost 4 years ago, so if I'm a little bit scattered, I apologize. And the sense of energy, I can only explain it. It's orgasmic. It, to me, actually feels like a small orgasm. And the only thing I need to turn it on is be aware that it's there. Just turn my awareness on it. I call this the energy body. That's what I speak about when I talk about the energy body. It's as though I knew things that I didn't know. I could tell when someone was about to say something. I knew what people were going to say before they said it. I knew, I was so much more aware of what was going on inside of me. I knew what I was going to do before I even acted on it. And when this first happened, I had no idea what was going on. It was such a overwhelming experience. It really was like comparable to when you're dreaming and then you wake up. And you can clearly tell that when you wake up from your dreaming, that you're not dreaming anymore. You know, okay, now I'm awake. It's a very noticeable difference. And in that same intensity of difference was this experience for me. So I didn't know what this was. I immediately, that same night, after I watched that video on empaths and so on, I needed to find out what was going on with me. I had the deepest urge to understand my inside, to understand what goes on. How could this be? What is this? So I searched all kinds of magic and ancient rituals, Egypt, the tarot. Throughout the years as well, I studied the tarot, I studied crystals, witchcraft, how to cast magic, sigil magic, mantras. I studied, in the very minute that this happened, I started practicing Reiki, and I still am doing that. That's been life-changing. I do this every day, all the time. This is a whole new part of my life now. And what I stumbled on was what I found that has been happening to a lot of people throughout history. A spiritual awakening. It described exactly what I was going through. So I started to experiment with this stuff, because when you first experience a spiritual awakening, when it happens suddenly like it did for me, your whole perspective changes. So, and the funny thing is, you change on the inside, but your outside habits, much of them remain. But because your inside changed, you can see the damage you're doing to yourself. You can clearly see the wrong in it. Okay, how it doesn't align with your inner being. Even though you're in an instant inside yourself in alignment, you can see how your external, your behaviors, your habits and all that stuff is not in alignment. So it's a compass, almost as though a compass was just turned on, and you just know, you have the deepest sense of knowing, okay, what I need to do. And so as I studied all these different esoteric religions, practices, I had all these amazing amazing experiences. One really large one about every 3 months or so, and every day there was at least like 20 to 50, at least 50 times where there were instances where little mini instances of clairvoyance. It was just, and still is, but I'm used to it now, the most amazing thing that this could happen to a human. This feeling was in me, and I just wanted to share this with everybody, and I still do, which is why I'm making these videos. It's really why I'm making these videos, to help people become aware that the mundane, regular life is just one aspect of what's possible as a human being. Enlightenment is a real thing. It actually does happen, and it can happen in a flash. It can happen in an instant. So throughout the almost 4 years now that I've had the spiritual awakening, I've gone through so much inner work, and let me give you what I've learned. Let me share what I've learned. When you start exploring yourself, you're going to feel your ego being interested in magic, the idea of inner alchemy, all these ideas that it'll want to start to identify itself. Oh, now I'm enlightened. The ego will say it will want to attach to the identity of, now I can cast magic, I'm a magician, I am this, oh, I am this now. And it'll create this excitement within you for about a week or so that you'll carry, which always fades. And this is the big lesson that I'm sharing with you, is that any identification that your ego will try to attach to, that it'll say, I am this, oh, I am this, and have a feeling of, oh, this is great. All those things fade and are all illusory, all illusions. On the path to aligning your inner with your outer, okay, your enlightenment, the path of your enlightenment, is to have you realize that nothing really, really good or nothing really, really bad matters. All things really good fade, all things really bad fade. Towards the path to finding yourself, to know thyself, many people will reach towards the feeling of feeling good all the time. They'll want to always be happy, and they'll do their best that when they feel happy, they think they've got it. They have what it is they're looking for. And then when they feel really bad, they'll feel as though, they lost it. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Those are just two extremes of an experience possible as a human being. When you have a certain knowing within you, a certain clarity that awakens, you can see this clearly, that it's not about doing anything to make you happy. That's not what the point of life is about. It's not about avoiding anything that you don't like. You have to learn through this process that it's not going to be pretty. And one of the most difficult things I learned was to not indulge in any of those interests that my ego wanted to attach to, because they felt great, they felt fun, but I knew it was all fake. It was just like playing with a toy. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you give a kid a toy, he gets really excited, but as an adult, when you give him the toy, it's not the main purpose of life. It's just a distraction. Allowing yourself to be more loving, allowing yourself to not be bothered by certain things that people say, when you can notice you're being stupid is much more important. When you can align yourself with love, when you can look inside yourself and see clearly, I'm not in a loving state right now. That person that just cut me off, and the way I feel towards that person is not my problem. It's not his problem. And if I make it his problem, then that's me projecting hate outward. These are the biggest realizations that I came to, that anytime I try to cast magic, I'm basically, it's like a child. I'm acting as like a child. The thing that happened that I realized the most from this enlightening experience through my spiritual awakening is to be able to see when I'm being a child and what's really important here. Being able to let go of guilt that you have, learning to love yourself, learning to change the thoughts in your mind, paying close attention to the negative thoughts you feed in yourself, and learning to break the chain of negativity within your thought patterns. Using the gift that I was given, the ability to manipulate energy as a form of inner transformation, is really the point. When you use this gift to do things in the world, you actually lose the ability to use it. And that's one of the things that I also learned throughout the path. I noticed that anytime I was doing something proper, and it's going to be a little bit different for everybody because we have our own different karmas. So when I'm doing something and I'm able to let go of guilt, I'm able to let go of some of the things that are blocking me and holding me back, I can feel it in my belly, I can feel it in my gut, and there's an overwhelming sense of and oftentimes there's tears. I cry because the release feels so good. And within that state, I have energy available to me to use in the form of, if you want to say magic, it's a good way to, not magic as in trickery, like you see on TV, but miracles. The same thing that you see, like for example, a Tibetan Buddhist will heal someone's cancer, for example, and there are some documented cases where they meditated, they applied this energy I'm talking about to the person's cancer, and within like 3 minutes it disappears. So you can research that for yourself. And this type of, when you use your energy in this manner, it continues. When you use it for selfish, childish reasons, you drain it, and then you're given a tough life lesson that you will need to face immediately. It's as though your karma becomes instant, and that becomes your stepping stones to knowing whether or not the things you're doing and the things how you're changing yourself is right or wrong. So the universe gives you signs, it gives you tons of synchronicities. When you notice, for example, that you go outside and you can walk straight without stopping, all the lights turn green for you, as all the cars happen to just align in a way that you don't have to stop walking. People always give you the nicest smiles and compliments. You know you're in a state where the universe is giving you all these little synchronicities, and at least for me, the small things, that's how it manifests. And the instant I'm not doing the right thing, I'll have the exact opposite happen. Everything that you can experience that will create a sense of frustration, and you just feel this sense of, oh my God, nothing is going right. When you see the world is being difficult for you in every way that you don't like, then you know you're not doing the inner work that you need to help yourself and others. When the entire world seems that it's just giving you everything you want, you need, for you to feel peaceful and calm and to be in a state where you're more giving and loving, then you know you're doing the right things. And these are really the lessons that I've learned that I want to share. I really want to share with you. Because so many people are angry about how others live their life, and they spend all their time criticizing and complaining. And complaining is one of the biggest things that I seen was holding me back. Complaining about what other people do. So if you clicked on this video to indulge your ego, I hope that either your ego got hurt and left, or got hurt and you noticed it and you've seen the value in letting the ego go. You're either ready to hear these words or you're not. And if you are, then it's a beautiful time in your life, because you're evolving towards your better self. Drop the self within you. Allow the universe to do its miracle through you. Simply watch and act in consciousness. See everything and don't act blindly. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Peace.